Hokin was still on the loose. Niner knew it. He'd seen him, or at least someone in his armor, come out of the facility. The officer whom Darman had shot had just been a young captain, and Hokin was probably doing what the dead captain seemed to have done and tracked them by the gunship. Their salvation might also prove to be their undoing.
About one more click,
Fee said.
Any word on Atten?
Haven't you got your long range switched through?
No, it's one more distraction I can't face right now.
Niner was beginning to understand how Fee coped. The man just switched off, sometimes literally. He wondered who or what had taught him to do that, because it wasn't Skirata. Cal Skirata felt, all too visibly sometimes.
I hope we get an urban deployment after this,
Niner said. Stay positive. Look ahead.
A nice, noisy, confusing city with places to hide and lots of running water. Surveillance. Data extraction. Easy street.
Nah, jungle.
You're sick.
Jungle's like a city. Lots going on.
You're worried about Atten.
Shut up, Sarge. I'm just worried about me, okay?
Of course you are.
Why didn't we just pound this whole region from space?
No intel. Virus could have been at several locations. We might not have hit them all, and we'd never have known until it was too late.
Just when we were making a good team.
He's still alive, Fee.
Niner began walking backward, playing the tail role. He's still alive. Jedi can heal. Darman's done all the right first aid. Niner never did like being tail on patrol, especially at night. He liked it even less when the point man shouted,
Down!
He dropped flat in the grass and looked where Fee was aiming his DC.
Speeder,
Fee said.
Guess who? Crossing, right to left ahead. It's got to be Hokin.
Can you take him?
Clear shot when he passes the trees.
Don't hang about then.
Niner counted the seconds, following the speeder bike with his rifle scope. The speeder's movement behind the avenue of Kuvara created a strobe effect. A flare of energy lit up his night visor and the rider was thrown off the vehicle in a cloud of vapor.
That's the way to do it,
Niner said. They waited the mandatory few seconds to check that Hokin was truly down. There was no movement at all. Niner could see the glint of Gadan eyes in the grass, a sign that at least someone thought the fighting was over and that it was safe to come out again. Niner was on his feet, and Fee was up on one knee when Hokin rose from the grass like a specter. He staggered a few steps and raised his weapon. Niner didn't hear him fire, but he heard a projectile whistle past him and hit something with a loud crack. Verpine shatterguns were silent, and they were accurate. If Hokin hadn't been winded by Fee's round, then Niner would have had the same hole blown in him as a 10.
Sarge, when I kill him, can I have his armor?
Fee asked.
You get to take it off him personally.
I needed that motivation. Thanks.
Still see him?
No.
A blaster round hit the grass a meter in front of Fee and sent sparks swirling. Their enemy wasn't a mindless tinny or a stupid Weequay. He was a Mandalorian, a natural-born fighter, dangerous even when wounded. He was very much like them.
You think that gunship's gonna wait?
Fee asked.
Not once they have Uthon.
Fiffic.
Fee snapped on the grenade attachment and aimed.
Maybe we shouldn't have ditched the E-web.
The night lit up with the explosion. Fee raised his head a little, and blaster fire flowed back, a meter further off target than before.
You go right of him while I keep him busy.
Niner edged forward on his elbow and knees, DC crooked in his arms. He'd moved about 10 meters when the air above him made a frying noise, and a blaster bolt took the seed heads off the grass above him. If it hadn't been for that Verpine, things would have been a lot simpler. Majestic wouldn't wait much longer. The stems had worn off fully now, and Niner was feeling the impact of days of hard tabbing, little sleep, and too much noise. He made himself a promise, there and then. If he and Fee weren't getting off Kilara, then neither was Gez Hokin. But Mandalorian or not, Hokin was just one man, and he was facing two men who were at least his match. Niner didn't underestimate him, but the end result was almost certain. Sooner or later, he would deplete the power cells. Still, time wasn't on their side right then.
Not good at all,
Niner said.
Darman, Niner here. What's your position?
He sounded out of breath.
Slow going, Sarge. About 10 minutes from the EP.
Ask them if they'll keep the meter running, will you? Just saying goodbye to Gez Hokin.
I'll drop a tin off and...
Negative, Dar. We can handle this once we crack his armor. Stand by.
Fee was edging forward looking for a clear shot. Niner, running out of patience, looked about for some cover he could use to get a position to the side of Hokin. The flash of a weapon discharge caught his eye, but he didn't hear anything except Fee beginning to say something over the comlink, and then a very brief searing peak of high-pitched noise. Then, everything went silent and black. For a moment, Niner thought he'd been hit. He couldn't hear Fee, and he couldn't see the data from his HUD. There was no green image of the field and the trees behind it in his night vision visor. But he could feel his elbows squarely braced in the soil, and he could feel his DC still in his hands. No pain, but if you were hurt badly enough, you sometimes didn't feel a thing. It took him several slow seconds to realize his helmet systems were totally dead. His face felt hot. He wasn't getting air. He pulled off his helmet and squinted through the scope of his DC-17. The night vision scope picked up his image. Fee had taken his helmet off too, and had his hands inside it, pressing controls frantically. EMP grenade, Niner thought. Hokin's droided us. You used electromagnetic pulse charges against droids, but they were equally effective against delicate electronics attached to wets. The enhanced Kataran helmets, 3 times the price of an ordinary trooper's version, were packed with sophisticated prototype systems, vulnerable systems. Niner crawled slowly and carefully toward Fee. A couple of blaster bolts went wide. He lay flat, head to head with him.
He's fried our helmets.
Fee whispered.
Don't they test these things properly?
I bet some civvy thought nobody would use EMPs against wets.
Yeah, I might look him up when we get back.
They should reset.
How long?
No idea. DC still works, though.
As long as he puts his head up.
I could do with one of Dar's flashbangs.
Doesn't fit the DC anyway.
Can you see him at all?
No. No, wait. There he is.
Niner had to track back and forth a couple of times before he spotted Hokin through the scope. Got any of the IEDs in easy reach?
6.
How far can you throw?
Far enough.
Wide as you can. Scatter them across him. Niner laid down suppressing fire while Fee bounced up and down, lobbing the little makeshift bombs and dropping flat again. Niner took the detonator control. When I hit this, you go wide that way and try to get side onto him. Fee rolled slightly to one side, bracing his right arm for a quick start. Niner hit the det. Fee bobbed up. Nothing happened. A blaster round seared the grass between them, and Fee threw himself down again.
We really must talk to procurement about hardening our electronics,
Fee said mildly. I fear we might be back to old-fashioned soldiering.
I'm fresh out of bayonets.
Sergeant Cal would have an idea.
You got his number on you?
I'm going to scream.
What?
Don't laugh. This man's a nut. If he thinks I'm down and badly injured, he won't be able to resist coming over and slitting my throat.
And then I give him a surprise party?
Anything that resolves this fast.
Okay, kid. Off you go.
Niner suddenly realized he didn't actually know how to scream, but he'd heard enough terribly wounded men to make a fair stab at it. He threw back his head and let go.